Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about Mark Rober. Now, just in case you somehow don't know who Mark Rober is, he's a YouTuber with over 65 million subscribers who makes some pretty viral videos. As you can see here, his most popular video has 181 million views, and there's a whole lot of them before you even get below the 100 million view mark. So yeah, Mark Rober is a huge YouTuber. But why are we talking about him? Well, it has to do with his latest video, right here. Can you fool a self-driving car? As it turns out, in this video, Mark tests out a LiDAR camera, then goes on for a while about how LiDAR is such an important technology. He maps out a Disney ride with it, and then he decides to test a car equipped with the latest LiDAR technology up against Tesla's autopilot. Now, I just want to point out, when I say autopilot, I don't mean full self-driving. He's testing it out against the autopilot, which is a completely different thing. You'll see why that matters in a minute, because Mark got cancelled for this video. You see here on X, there were a lot of posts calling Mark Rober out for some somewhat deceptive practices, I would say, with what he showed in the video. You see, this guy here points out that in his video, it uses Luminar's latest technology, but not Tesla's latest full self-driving software. Autopilot was turned off at 42 miles an hour in your YouTube video, but you turned it on in 39, 40 miles an hour in your clip above. Why? Multiple takes? So what he's referring to here is, in the video, Mark Rober goes through and he builds a wall out of styrofoam and he paints it to look like it's a roadway. The point that he's trying to make is that Tesla's autopilot uses cameras instead of LiDAR, and the cameras won't stop the car because they can't tell the difference between a wall with a road painted on it and an actual road. Now, obviously that seems kind of far-fetched, but in Mark's video, it does actually work because the Tesla plows straight through the fake wall. Now, you'll notice here, he's not in autopilot. So when autopilot engages in a Tesla, it shows a sort of rainbow indicator in front of the Tesla as it's scanning what's in front of it. So you note right here, he does not have anything in front of the Tesla on this screen. That's weird because he's supposed to be using Tesla autopilot. Well, he doesn't engage it up until he gets very close to the wall. Right here is when he enables autopilot. So you'll see it, there it goes on, right? So he was driving right here in the frame where autopilot is turning on. He's going 40 miles an hour. So as you can tell from what was just shown, the Tesla did go through the styrofoam wall. However, if you look closely, this is just before Mark drives into the styrofoam wall. You'll notice that the rainbow autopilot indicator is no longer present because autopilot turned off. The whole premise of this video was that he was using autopilot to test it against the LiDAR company's car, but he doesn't actually have the autopilot engaged when he's doing the major test, the biggest test that he does in this video. What? How can he do that? How did he not notice that in his editing? Of course he had to, right? But it was probably just too much effort to go back and try it again. Or, you know, some people have said that he probably had more nefarious intentions given his ties to the LiDAR company. But I'm not going to make any allegations about that. So Mark Rober did respond to these allegations, right? He put up a tweet with a video. Now in this tweet, Mark Rober said, "Here is the raw footage of my Tesla going through the wall. Not sure why it disengages 17 frames before hitting the wall, but my feet weren't even touching the brake or gas." So just watch this, right? Right there. He's going 42 miles an hour when autopilot was enabled here. The rainbow road is just showing up and he's at 42 miles an hour. Now, he claims that this is the raw footage of his Tesla going through the wall. However, that doesn't make any sense because if we go back to the original video, you will see that obviously when he enables the autopilot, he is not driving at 42 miles an hour. See, take a look at that. He's driving at 40 miles an hour. So how is it in this video, which is the actual video he published on YouTube, he enables autopilot at 40 miles an hour, but in his tweet where he's trying to explain what's going on, autopilot is enabled at 42 miles an hour, right? Look at, he's going 42 miles an hour. The entire time it's activating, he's going 42 miles an hour. So how could this be the raw footage of what he put in his video if what he's put in his video has him turning it on at 40 miles an hour? Ready? Here, look. 3940 goes on at 40 miles an hour. But in what he says is the raw footage, it goes on at 42 miles an hour. You can't tell me that he's not either being disingenuous or just flat out lying here, because this obviously is not the footage that he used in the video. So did he splice together different runs? Did he do other runs where the Tesla didn't actually go through the wall, where the Tesla detected the wall and stopped, but he just kept filming until finally he turns off autopilot? Remember that, he turns off the autopilot in this video. Now, whether that's intentional or autopilot turns itself off, I don't know, but he turns off autopilot when he crashes into this fake wall here. See right here, just before he's about to hit the wall, autopilot is no longer engaged. So it brings into question whether or not he faked the test, right? Did he fake the test? Because it kind of seems like he had the possibility to, because the one that he put in the video, the run where the Tesla goes through this fake styrofoam wall, is not the same run that he put out as the raw footage of the Tesla going through the wall. So I don't really understand what happened here. How are there two different videos of the Tesla going through the wall? How are they different? It doesn't make any sense unless, of course, Mark was splicing together different runs of the Tesla in the actual video. Now, whether or not that's a mistake or something something intentional because he faked the test, I can't say for sure. However, I can say that it's incredibly sketchy. And this wasn't the only sketchy thing that people pointed out, right? People also noticed that in the video, you can see that Mark is filming with a Google Pixel, right? He has a Google Pixel marked up here. But when you actually look in the reflection, now this is going to be very hard to see. I don't know if there's a great way for me to show you guys this, so I might blow it up in post, but in the reflection on the Tesla screen, you can see the iPhone camera notch is visible, which means that he wasn't filming with a Google Pixel. Did he go back and edit this in post to replace an iPhone with a Google Pixel? Or did he just have a Google Pixel here for show and film on an iPhone? I don't know what he did exactly, but it's just weird. Why would you lie about that? And then on top of that, in the video Mark posted, you can see, if you look right when he turns autopilot on, there's an error message the whole time autopilot's on, right here. Now, that's not normal, and it doesn't appear in the actual video when he turns autopilot on. So if we go back to that, that's weird. When he enables autopilot right here, he has the camera conveniently placed not to show any error messages that would appear at the bottom. That's odd, especially because if this is the raw footage, they must have like zoomed in. I think this one is from a different camera, to be honest with you. But it's weird that they would use the shot that didn't show where the error messages pop up. Interesting. So you can see here somebody zoomed in on what he had in the video, and it looks like an error message. What did it say? Well, if we scroll down, this guy right here seems to believe that it says the accelerator pedal is pressed and autopilot will not brake. If that's true, and I'm not saying that it is because it's just a random guy on X, that would mean that the entire premise was false, because if you have your foot on the accelerator, autopilot won't brake, so obviously it's not going to stop before you go through the wall. And then on top of that, people called out that Mark Rober was just trying to make Tesla look bad, because in the last test, when he goes through this styrofoam wall, he places a dummy, a fake child, behind the wall so that he can make it look like the Tesla won't keep kids safe, because you go through the wall into a fake child doll. It just seemed unnecessary, because if it already went through the wall, what the hell do you need to put up a child doll there for? Doesn't make sense. So overall, there's a lot of very sketchy things with Mark Rober's recent video, and I don't think that his response has been enough. I actually genuinely think that there's enough stuff here that Tesla could move forward with a lawsuit against him. Obviously, I'm not saying Tesla would win a lawsuit against him, but if I was Tesla, I would be very interested in the discovery to see what exactly happened here, because obviously, if he's putting out something that's fake to the public, that's not good. Right? Tesla's a publicly traded company. They have to defend their image. And if he's putting out something that is deceptively edited to make the Teslas look worse, then Tesla has every right to go after him. Now, I'm not saying that he is doing that, right? However, the evidence seems to point to there being something very sketchy here. And when there's something sketchy going on around $1 billion company, I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to send some lawyers over. Obviously, it would be pretty easy to find out exactly what happened in the discovery phase, right? Tesla's lawyers would get access to all of the footage that Mark Rober has, and they'd be able to tell whether or not Mark Rober deceptively edited his video. And if he didn't, they could drop the lawsuit and walk away. So I don't know. The whole situation is weird. I think Mark Rober is throwing his entire reputation in the trash, which is crazy because he has 65 million subscribers. All of this is without mentioning the kind of sketchy things that are coming up between Mark Rober and the LiDAR company that takes prominent first place in this video. There are some allegations that he might be much more involved with the company, or at least the company's founders, than he lets on in the video, but I'm not going to make those allegations because I'm not entirely certain of their validity. So do your own research on those. But tell me, what do you guys think? Do you think that Mark Rober was being, at the very least, sketchy? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. Remember to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and God bless you.